The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back. And that means, where are you? Well, you're with Tom and Steve on The Local Show. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you hanging out with us as we approach the holidays now. Can you believe it? I cannot believe how into November we are already.
It's like our parents used to tell us, when you get older, time will just zip by. You're like, no. When you're young, like a year is like forever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, wait a minute.
I'm waist high into all of my holiday movies on Hallmark.
My mom's waist high because she got old and she shrunk. But, it happens when you get old.
Speaking of your mom, I was in Sparrows the other day, and there's a wonderful woman there, and, I forget her name, but she was my daughter's church school teacher, so she always asks about Shannon. She's known Shannon for 20-something years. And we were talking, and I had my Zoe fleece on because really I'm on the clock. Yeah. And so I grabbed my meats and stuff like that, and she said, "So how's Steve doing?" And I'm like, "That's right, Steve Roberts." Yeah. So she was just saying that, she loved the show and
awesome.
Loved you, but she loves your mother. And she said, Gloria is the ambassador of Cicero.
Yeah, what's not to love?
Wow. So she comes in.
Yeah, she's still working in the yard, finishing things up for the winter. She's 91. Slowing her down.
Sure. Yeah, that's good stuff. Matt Mallory's here with us. He's the owner of PS and Ed and Mallory Unlimited. How are you there, Matt?
Awesome. Great to be here.
Oh, yeah, it's good to have you, man. You're looking svelte as usual with your, haircut and everything.
Appreciate that. Yeah, just for you guys. Came out of my farm clothes to come here.
Yeah. Matt, what's your story? What is PS and Ed? Tell people who don't know.
Sure. So PS and Ed is a training company. Predominantly, we also are Type 7 Class 2 FFL, so I can deal in guns, buy guns, sell guns.
What's an FFL?
Yep, sorry.
Yeah,
those military acronyms. Federal Firearms Licensed Dealer. So I basically am federally and state licensed to be able to buy and sell guns, and because I'm a Class 2, that allows me to do full auto, suppressed guns, suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, that kind of stuff too. So I deal with that for law enforcement, and then I do a fun gun shoot every year where people in New York State aren't allowed to touch that stuff. They can come out and fondle it.
Yeah. So are you doing this full time, or do you have another gig?
Nope, this is the full time thing. But I've got a lot of irons in the fire, if you will. We got the Mallory Market, which is a small little hobby farm with chickens and bees. I was actually working the beehives this morning before I came.
Nice.
And then we also have a property that we rent out. We have two properties on the property, on the farms, the homestead that we rent out.
Right.
We've had the likes of Justin Bieber there. We've had Luke Brown Band has booked a place.
Very nice.
Yep. And then I just started another endeavor called UnitedMerchCo.com, where I've got all my funny, quippy memes and such.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. What's that one say? Steve, can you read that?
The Second Amendment. A bear, B-E-A-R, is not about hunting.
Yep. So that's
bear arms.
Yeah. So that's one of them, and then I've got a bunch of others. Tyranny in a Can. I just made one for the peanut and the raccoon that got offed by the state. Yep.
That's cool. That's fun. Else. So you sell that stuff. Where do you sell it? Online somewhere?
Yeah, right on United Merch Co. I got a local printer that prints it for me and ships it, and I created the website and came up with the ideas.
Fabulous.
So about the election, how does that change anything locally for us as far as gun rights and gun ownership and all that? Anything immediate that's going to happen?
I don't think so. I don't think immediately, no. Okay. But I do think that it's a good sign federally with SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, where this state, anything they come up with is going to get challenged and hopefully shot down. Mm-hmm. So they might be a little bit more reluctant to push things through, knowing that it's not going to change for many years. The dynamics of the Supreme Court.
Shot down, you can't help yourself.
Yeah, there's puns, man. It's some puns.
That'll be on a T-shirt.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. So I don't think locally we're not going to see, hopefully we don't see any more new laws, and the stuff that's already out there, they're definitely beating that down in court. So we don't have to worry about at least the Supreme Court being stacked or them coming up with new rules that the Supreme Court has to follow. Yeah, I think that was the big concern if we got another 4 years of what we have.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So many of the attempted laws in New York State are trying to impede the ability to carry a firearm. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and not just carry, where you can carry it, the ammunition, the type of gun. They just passed a couple weeks ago, I think 2-3 weeks ago, they passed the Glock switch ban, which basically is a goal to try to ban any semi-automatic handgun that can be converted into full auto, which, I mean, with enough craftsmanship, you can do that to pretty much any gun. So they're really targeting guns and ammo. Like you can't, with the ammunition background check that just got shot down in court in, I think, one of the other states. So that makes it to the Supreme Court. That should affect us here and hopefully roll back some of that background check on ammo.
How do you help people responsibly own a firearm if they want to?
I would say classes. That's the biggest thing. Knowledge. There's a lot of stuff. I have people that have had their license 30, 40 years, and they'll come and take a class. They're like, wow, I didn't know that. Or they'll call me up and say, hey, I heard the laws change. What are the most important things I should know? And I'm like, there's a ton. It's not, I can't just like say blah, and that's it. It's literally like in 18 hours, I cover it in the 18 hours.
But you have to, someone to have a firearm, they have to take that class, right?
Yes. So technically, if they want to conceal carry, which is minimal where you can in New York State, because that's how they got around the Supreme Court's ruling, is telling you where you can't carry. You can have a license, just you can only carry in certain places. So that if they want to conceal carry in public, then yeah, they'd have to do the 18-hour class, which I go over the laws, what you can do, what you can't do, where you can go, all that.
So what if they just are going to have a shotgun and they're going to hunt and things like that? What's required there?
Well, I guess what kind of shotgun? Is it a semi-automatic? Is because one of my buddies just ended up doing an arrest in Central Square where he caught somebody with a sawed-off shotgun, short-barreled shotgun. That's a federal felony. Right
okay,
there.
So a regular old, a regular old.
So I would say if it's a pump action shotgun, then you just have to do a background check, 4473 and a background check when you go to purchase it at your gun store. So if you came to me and you walked in and said, I want to buy a shotgun, hand you a couple, you check them out, and as long as you're of age, you pass the background check, you're good to go.
But the training is good. Yeah,
I'm sorry, you're selling firearms.
Yeah. I actually build them too. So if somebody wants an AR, $625 is bare bones out the door. $625 for an AR.
Why would somebody want an AR?
Home defense. ARs are great for home defense. They're good for woodchucks, coyotes, stuff like that around the house and such. We always say in the industry, use your handgun to fight to get to your long gun. So a long gun would be a AR, right? Or a shotgun, either of those two.
Right. Because
it's higher power, further distance, more knockdown power. So the benefit of having an AR or a shotgun in home defense, absolutely.
So the opposition to gun rights was saying that they were going to require, they weren't going to confiscate guns, but they were going to have a mandatory buyback program. Could you explain the difference?
Yeah, so they didn't buy them for you in the first place, so I don't know how they're going to buy them back. That's always the funny part there. Yeah, it's just their way of saying, well, we don't like these guns, so we're going to give you money for them, and the money obviously comes from tax dollars because where else are they going to get it? So it's just a ruse, anytime that comes up, I usually run out and say, okay, anybody wants to sell their guns to the state, let me know. Bring them to me. I'll buy them from you to save them. I'll save the guns.
Right.
Save the pew-pews.
Yeah. Tell us about the launchers, the Berta launcher and the various other ones that are out there.
So the one I rep, Saber's one of my sponsors of our show and everything else. So Saber's got a home defense launcher, which is basically a .68, about a paintball size pepper ball, if you will. And doesn't feel too good, can definitely do some damage if it hits you, and it also creates a big plume of pepper. So that person will also not be able to see and start, coughing and such. So that's
well, what about you, though, as the person firing that?
You could get some residual.
Yeah. Do you have to wear a mask or something?
Well, I mean, if you could put the mask on quick enough, if the bad guy's attacking you, sure. Yeah. But I usually say, hey, come on out, I'll spray you just so you get used to it.
So to test the effectiveness of this, can we set up a demonstration where I shoot one at Tom?
Sure.
Okay.
I got one I should have told me we could have done it this morning.
See how it works and see how he survives.
Or tase. I'm looking to tase somebody at the Running Sportsman Show in January.
You're looking for a volunteer.
I'm looking for a female and a male, 2 volunteers.
Hey, this fits both those descriptions. All right.
MalloryUnlimited.com.
Yes, sir.
All kinds of things if people want classes or training or just have questions. You're the guy that could get a hold of you at 567-9268.
Oh, geez, you had to give that out. Yes, that's the number.
They can. There we go. MalloryUnlimited.com. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.